Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Maine. To be specific, we're actually in Twitchell, which is, by the look of it on the map, in the middle of nowhere, but I thought it was a good place to start our little helicopter flight. This is by no means a tutorial. I haven't flown the 500E for a little while. I had a bit of a mess about with it maybe a few weeks ago, but certainly wasn't anything extensive. So this really is a chance for me to get back in the saddle and get to grips with it again. It's quite a twitchy helicopter, but it's immensely fun, is the best way I can describe it. It's very good fun. So let's just jump in, and I need to put my head tracking back on. Hello Sparky, good to see you around, mate. Hope all is good with you. Wonderful to have you along. And hello to anyone who's joining. I have put a link to the Discord in the chat if anyone's interested in joining that. And yeah, well, without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to take a flight down to the coast, and we are going to also... Oh, let me show you on the map, actually. That's probably the best thing, isn't it? Let's see if this actually works. There we go. It's actually worked. Amazing. So we're starting off here at Twitchell, and then we're going to be scooting on down here. We are going to head to, where is it? It's covering it up quite nicely. Durham, which is where I believe Stephen King grew up. And then we're going to scoot down to the coast. I am by no means a Stephen King expert. This isn't a Stephen King tour or anything like that. It's just that I love his books, and it just suddenly occurred to me this morning. I thought it's been a while since I've done anything. I thought it would be a good idea just to have a flight in Stephen King country, where so many of his novels are set, and just see what it's like in a bit of a break from flying hems around in Scotland. So, not that there's anything wrong with that at all, of course. Right, I just need to remember how to fly this wonderful helicopter. So, yeah, Sparky, you're right. Agile is a very good way of describing it. So, like I said, this isn't going to be a tutorial, but I'll try my best. So the rotor brake is off. Quick look down here. The fuel cock is open. Let's have the battery on now. Quick look at everything here. We're not going to be using the Garmin's. I can actually, let's see if it's going to do it. Don't want that one. Seems to be a bit of a lag. Try again. Boof, there we go. So we've got the TDS GTNXI, which is what I prefer. We're not going to be using it today. We're going to be using the Mark 1 eyeball to see where we're going and the map. Right, so we've done all that. Let's have the start pump on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to have that off. Quick look round here. We're going to start winding things up, so I'm just going to go through these. I'll tell you what I'm going to do while I remember. I am going to turn off the terrain warning, because that...
TOS system test OK.
When you're flying a helicopter like this, low level, can be a tad tiresome, to say the least, when it starts going off in a panic because you're flying low. Quick look around, that's okay. We're using WIMP weather today. This is the fair weather preset. The live weather actually isn't too bad, apart from it's quite windy, and I thought for this flight I might put live weather on in a bit just to give me some better practice with more realistic weather, but this is the, as I say, the fair weather that we're using at the moment. Got that back there. Okay, right, we've done that. Let's get some lights on, because we're going to start whapping things around that can hurt. Right, let's have a look over here. So I need to set this up, so I'm using the old Verpal Collective, need to find the right switch because I've got lights off, because lucky for you, because I've not got the camera running. The room is actually quite dark because I've got a blackout blind up because of the head tracking, so just having to find the switches. There we go. That's cool. So that's all set up. That's all set up. Everything is good. Let's wind up the engine and I'll shut up for a bit so you can hear the wonderful noises. Coming alive. Okay, let's have the generator on. I'll put the pitot heat on. That's all good. Happy with that. I'll leave that as it is. Onto the map. Okay, slowly increase the throttle. Keeping increasing the throttle there, and that's throttle fully open, and we're good to go. So let's have a jump outside. It's a gorgeous helicopter, it really is. This is, I tend to think of this as kind of Starsky and Hutch livery. If you're of an age, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I just realised I haven't put me pilot in. So in true Stephen King fashion at the moment, we have a ghost, poltergeist, whatever you want to call it. So let's change that. So we'll pop the pilot in. I'm not going to put any co-pilot in today because frankly I've been disappointed with their lack of enthusiasm previously. There we go. They've not been very happy, and hello, that's interesting. No, okay, looks like our doors have popped off. Let's pop the doors back on. And now if I jump outside, hopefully... No, because maybe... Okay. Let's try a bit more weight. No, so it's not going to add the pilot. I don't think they've done an update yet for 2024. Sometimes that seems to add the pilot, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just going to check. I mean, that is the right seat that I'm sat sitting in here, so I'm not sure why that's not working. Sparky, I've got a fine cup of tea and off to bed in a few hours as I'm working tonight. Blimey, mate, you're on the night shift. I do feel for you. Guy, you don't have to worry about floating bananas today. MOD wouldn't pay for taking the link stateside. Yeah, I do need to get that links in my sim, that's for sure. Right, okay, let's focus. I'm just looking at my map, getting that all set up. And now we'll do some flying. So the wind is negligible, it's 2 knots from behind, it's really not much. But I'm going to focus on doing some flying now, you'd be glad to hear. So quick check around, everything's looking good, we've got nothing on the enunciator panel. That's all wonderful. Brilliant, okay, let's go. Cool, quick check of the, yeah, it's all good. Yeah. It's quite incredible, having flown the H145 so much recently, how you have to just remember to compensate just how squirrely 500E is. So just getting a feel for it now. Distracted myself there, having a look at that. Not a good idea. Okie doke. So we are sort of heading into wind now. As I say, it's only 2 knots, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. Just pick up some speed. This helicopter really is gorgeous. I love flying it. When I was a kid, the 500 was a favourite kind of design of mine. That old kind of an egg with a tail sticking out of it. I had a toy one. I think a lot of people, certainly in the UK in the 70s, did. I think Corky did a police one. A lot of people had. Right, let's get going. So we'll head over here first. What's that? Or should we go over this way? Let's go over this way. Let's go to Lake Auburn by the looks of it. That is. That beep that you hear every now and again there is just the 500 foot radar altitude. I say 500, it's actually 200 set at. Might change that because that's going to be a tad annoying. Let's get rid of you. Don't need you beeping on our ear every 5 minutes. 5 seconds even. So yeah, why Stephen King? Well, I'll be completely honest with you. You'll have noticed there's not a huge amount of output on the channel at the moment in terms of pre-recorded videos. Won't bore you again by going through it, but a lot going on with work at the moment, so not getting a huge amount of time to put towards kind of edited videos on the channel. And I always remember years ago I used to like to do some writing. And I read an excellent book by Stephen King called On Writing, about, you know, without sounding too arty-farty, the craft of writing, and it's a really excellent book. Recommend it if you're into writing and you haven't read it. And he talks about the process of inspiration and, you know, sitting in the upstairs of a house, watching men bring in objects into the bottom of the house, which is the kind of ideas, if you like, and getting inspiration, building up the inspiration that way. And it suddenly occurred to me, as much as I'm a fan of Stephen King books that I've been reading since, well, the 80s really, I thought, well, why not take a flight in Stephen King country where a lot of these books are set? And I thought it'd also be a good idea to see what 2024 scenery is over here stateside. We've obviously done a lot of flying in Scotland, and that's where we do most of the helicopter flying. I thought, well, let's come over and have a look at Maine. And it's pretty beautiful. Certainly a lot flatter than the Highlands, but very interesting to see it. This is what I love about 2024. You get such a good representation of the real world. Of course, I don't know this area, so I can't comment on how realistic it is, or even where we are, apart from we're kind of heading towards Lewiston now. Just watching the power line there. Always something you need to be careful of in helicopters. Helicopters and power lines don't go together very well. We haven't got any cable cutters installed today, I don't think. Now somewhere over here, trying not to be too aggressive there, forgetting that we're in the 500E, there is a hospital helipad which I'm not going to try and land at, but I just want to see some of the helipads in 2024 when you actually come up to them. They're pretty awful. Oh, there it is. There was one I was looking at the other day which looked like a great place to fly from, and when I loaded into it, it was actually in the middle of a load of trees. So I guess it's hard for Asobo to go through all their marked helipads and check that they actually don't have things on them. This really is so incredibly nimble. tiny inputs. That's all you need, and just keeping on top of it. Also just watching that I don't go too far with the speed. Try not to put too much collective in. It really is a joy to fly. Just make a look over at the map again. Found Stephen King books are incredibly descriptive, very atmospheric. It's one of the things I really do love about them. Something that grabbed me as a kid. That kind of atmosphere of Salem's Lot, Cujo, all those fantastic books. We're just back under the wires here. I need to check actually, and I don't know if anyone in the chat is using it, but I forget the developer, but the old pylons and cables mod, wind farms I think it was as well, it was in 2020. I'm not sure if that works in 2024, but that's great for helicopter flying. You certainly do have to keep your wits about you because there are cables strung between them. 2024 stock, it just seems to be just kind of, you know, the pylon but nothing strung in between it. But I'm not going to be stupid enough to actually try and check that. We've got quite a few here. So at the moment, again, just still trying to feel the helicopter out a bit, dial back into it. Doing flying like this, I find just helps you to get your 500E legs again. Not doing anything particularly difficult, but just gives us a chance to keep an eye on the handling. And I'm watching the speed as well. It's very easy to overspeed in this helicopter. It's very easy just to take off, pull a load of collective, stick the nose down, and suddenly you find that you're going too fast. But it's so incredibly nimble. Oh, it's gone payware, has it? Okay, Sparky. Certainly a great add-on. Some people said it could affect the performance and that sort of thing, but it always worked really well for me. And I loved when you kind of popped over a ridge and suddenly there's a cable strung across it. It makes you keep your eyes open. I can't remember what I did. I don't know if I've adjusted something, but also the scratches and things seem to be a lot better on the 500E. That video that I did some time ago about when I got the Verkle collective, the scratches on the canopy were really prominent because of the way 2024 was featuring them. But now it feels a lot better. I say feels a lot better, it looks a lot better. One of the tricky things with the stream really is you're kind of watching and that sort of thing, but it's very hard sometimes. It almost feels like selfish to be doing the flying but not giving you a go, but I guess that's just the way it works. But it is wonderful to fly. Sorry about that, I've got WinZip on the computer and I keep getting a reminder to update my WinZip, and it's a complete pain in the neck. So as I say, we are going to head over to the coast, but I just thought we'd just have a look inland and just, pardon me, as I'm looking at the map again. Okay, let's actually take it. Pardon me while I just have a look. Okay, yeah, let's duck it down here.
$500.
Yeah, I don't know, Sparky. I've had the opposite. I have WinZip. I don't know if it's because I've purchased a version at some point, but I get these update things come up, and it's very annoying. We actually, before, when I started faffing about looking at the map, we were actually just over. So this is the area that Stephen King grew up in, and apparently was a what's the word? It's gone. An inspiration for Castle Rock. There's some strange ground going on there. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, Sparky. Scooting around here. Lots of trees. Luckily we've got tiny little rotors on the 500E. It's great for getting into small places. I'm trying to read the map so I can tell you what river this is, but I want to concentrate on the flying as well. So let's just. This is the Androscoggin River. Apologies for probably murdering that pronunciation. Right, let's concentrate on flying again. Anytime the helicopter starts doing funny things, you know I'm looking at a map or a screen or something. It's the thing about this 500E is that you do have to keep in the flow and keep on top of it. I've said it before on other streams about how helicopter flying can almost be like meditation, and the 500E is a great example of that, especially when you're landing. You've totally got to be in the zone and be focused. And hello, waterfall. Yeah, be aware of what you're doing. Now, I wonder what this will look like. Yeah, okay. Straight through the wires there. Don't do this at home. So this is a good example of what I like about 2024. We've got this some kind of extraction bit going on down here, but the detail is just incredible, and it is just default, but amazing detail. The sound is very quiet. Okay, well we can do something about that. If it gets too loud, speak up. Is that better? This is quite a quiet helicopter, I should say. If we jump outside. There we go. Yes, you can see it's quite quiet inside. The pilots that that, Sparky? Is that better? Can you hear me? Just pull the sim sound back a little bit. Hopefully that is better. So we're going to great. Cheers, Sparks. So we'll head over to Brunswick Executive. We'll do a landing because I need to dial one of those in, and then we'll continue on down to the coast. Have a look. Straight and level, look flying the helicopter in balance. Still a little loud. Okay. Okay. Let's what? There we go. Turn it down a little bit more. Hopefully that's better. So what have we got? Wind, we got 3 knots from behind. I have got multiplayer on, but because I'm on Western Europe, I'm not really expecting to see anything. So look, scoot it round. Really a very conventional approach. I'll look for a spot to use as a target for landing, just to try and bit of precision. And from here I've got the map wound out so much that I can't actually see it. Ooh, however, no, there's a helipad near here, but I think because I've got the map wound out, it's closer than it probably actually is. So let's have a look over here, see what we've got. Check that drift. Let's put a bit of left skid down. Is coming from the left. Yeah, I've dropped mine as well, Sparky. I must admit I'd stopped using it for a while, and I think I did some IFR flights where it was just every time I flew any kind of procedure, it seemed to ignore it, and it was taking me off the procedure, and I got a bit tired of that, so I dropped it. But also I wasn't doing that much flying, but I don't know whether to go beyond ATC or to renew my same intentions, really, to be honest. And at the moment I'm just not doing that much flying where I want ATC. Right, let's see, I don't know what that patch is there, it won't be a helipad, but it will serve as a target. Good enough for me. Put a fair bit of left skid down. Just looking at the map, we are kind of into wind now, you can see from the wind socks. One of the things that I do find with any helicopter apart from the H145 that is inbuilt collective sensitivity is that sometimes it's just finding that sweet spot. Bring it in. Settle. There we go. Oh, that's no bad. Let's have a look at the outside, see where we actually ended up. the middle. Not quite bullseye, but not bad. I think that's one of the things I find is flying the helicopters is trying to make sure that you land in the centre of the helipad, which I know sounds absolutely bleeding obvious, but sometimes, especially rigs where you're conscious of a structure in front of you, I can land and suddenly realise that I am not far from teetering off the edge of the pad. Okay, right, everything's fine, so we're good to lift. Straight across into wind. Interesting. So with speed. Oh, no. That's alright. I was going to say, I think the wind direction changed a little bit, it hasn't. Okay, Sparky. I must admit, I've not used it for VFR. I think I probably once, just for a bit of a play, tried to see what it was like VFR, but I tended to only use Saint Intentions when I wanted to do like a full-on, set it up in Navigraph kind of IFR flying procedures and all that kind of gubbins. Normally when I'm flying out IFR, I just want to, a bit like today, just chuck it around a bit and not have to worry about radios and all that kind of thing, but it's something I'm conscious that we should really have a look at. And I don't know, am I right in thinking beyond ATC you can't actually do VFR, or is that from some updates a long time ago? Maybe now you can. I've not tried. Right, so now we're going to head down to the coast and see what that looks like. I must admit, it's kind of looking how I would expect it to from reading the novels. We've got lots of water and trees, countryside. So my speed there, you can see I'm just over speed. Not quite over speed, but just starting to get away a bit there, so I'm just pulling it back. Not really bothered about flying full whack. Yeah, no VFR. So we're going to a point on the map called Squirrel Point Light. That's where we're heading to now. I have no idea if there's going to be anything in the sim. But I presume at some point, maybe historically, it was a lighthouse on the estuary for shipping that was going up it. Yeah, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? With a little shop in it, run by an eccentric old man. Head up over here. I am loving 2024 for helicopter flying. I don't use it for flying the warbirds, but it's a wonderful world to fly around in helicopters. The detail on the ground is just fantastic. Across here. One of the handy things you can actually do with the, I've no idea, with the PMS, with the TDFG, TNXI, TDS, TNXI. Just having one of the displays with the terrain display on it, not the actual warning that starts shouting at you. It just having the display sometimes is quite good, just to, especially if the visibility isn't great, just to check that you're not doing anything too silly. But of course we wouldn't do that, would we? Hello, what's this? A little structure of some sort. Back down to the estuary. See if there's anything where this light is. Again, I've got the map wound out a little bit too far, so I'm not sure how accurate this is going to be, but we'll take a look. I've got a feeling that that little structure there, that piece of autogen, is the, yeah, it's where the light is. Saying light rather than lighthouse, but because that's what it says on the map, but I would imagine that's some kind of lighthouse down there. Let's bring around, just using the rotor a bit just to sharpen that. Yeah, hard to say, although that looked like a tennis court down there. I guess perhaps it was once a lighthouse and now it's a very nice holiday home. Okay, so let's head out to the coast and have a look. There's some nice beaches by the look of it. Do we have any Stephen King fans in the chat? If so, your favourite novel? I'd be interested to know. I tend to like the older classics. I have tried some of the newer ones. Was it Mr. Mercedes? That was the first of the kind of detective crime trilogy, but I haven't read the other ones. I read Dune McKee on holiday last year, which to me is one of the newer ones, but I know actually isn't because it's been out for a while. The only book I've really struggled with recently was, again, it's not a brand new one, it's been out for a while, is Under the Dome. Didn't quite get into that one. But the old classics, Pet Sematary, The Shining, Salem's Lot, love it. Oh, okay, Sparky, would you recommend? So coming up to the coast now. Yeah, funny enough, Tommyknockers was another one I struggled with. The Stand was great. Have you seen the, I think it was a TV adaptation, wasn't it? I don't know if it was a film, because I think it was in 2 or 3 parts, but that was great. And here we are, the lovely beach. Look at that. That's the beach, isn't it? Well, that was interesting. In true Stephen King fashion, I don't know if you saw it on the stream, but my screen just did something very odd, kind of flickered like there was something in the background. Now over there I know is the lighthouse, but I can immediately see that the autogen is at play here, so we'll go and have a look. It's a nice beach. Detail on that rock there, we're getting some, a little bit of stuttering there. So I'm looking forward to getting the new GPU when I can maybe get some better performance, but I do find in 2024 sometimes it runs really smoothly, and especially on streaming, every now and again it will just start with some stutters. Let's go have a look at this island. This is Seguin Island. Yeah, Seguin Island. And it looks like there might be a helipad here, but let's see what that looks like. By the way, again, apologies for any mispronunciation. The detail on that coastline, just amazing. Yeah, that is definitely not a traditional New England lighthouse. Some pretty awful Dunder Mifflin style waterjet at play there, and we've definitely got some stutters. Detail on the rocks, insane. So, somewhere, I think I might actually have to wind the map out a bit. Wind it in rather. Let's have a look. Somewhere down there is a helipad marked on my map, but I don't think it's in the sim. Ah, okay. Let's take it down. I think that might be it, but it's oh no. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sparky. Best window to look out of, really, Roberto. Let's come over here.
500.
Don't worry, love, professional work. It's always interesting manoeuvring a helicopter like this, where you've got a chunk of sea around, because trying to get references for where the helicopter is and what it's doing is not always difficult. That's definitely 1970s London. Let's just scoot over here. Time angle us so that we can get a better look. Yeah, well, I guess that might be. Let's give it a go. Indulge in a bit of practice here, so bear with me. Speed handling. Check of the wind, 3 knots from our left, so effectively landing with a tailwind, albeit not a strong one. Right, let's get visibility. Well, that is absolutely honking. We're rocking about a bit, so I need to stop that. Too well, but it's a good test. That tree. And we're down. A little bit of a thump. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we've just torn up some ferns, but managed to get it into that little slot. little test of flying there. Right, so we'll pull off here, and I think what we will do is go and land on the beach, light the Barbie, and call it a day. Pick up. Backing away, remembering how I came in. Too aggressive on the torque pedals there. Way walls. Again, forgetting which helicopter I'm flying. Well, I remember. I did say I would. Stick it onto live weather. Okay, so live weather is now given us a 31 knot headwind. See the sea state has perked up a bit. 31 coming from, oops, suddenly drops down. 26, 27, 30, so yeah, it's around about there. Feel it in the helicopter though, straight away it feels like we're flying into treacle. As opposed to we were just kind of slipping through before. So let's come over, where's a good place to... Let's go over here. Wind, so the wind's now on our right. I've noticed also the 500 gets a lot more squirrely in the wind as well. So this could be interesting. Okay, that's going on down. Aiming to get it on a bit of beach that looks a bit flatter. Hopefully not crushing someone's sunbed. Really have to be careful of the wind here. Down. Right, well, it's going to be a windy barbecue, 30 knots. If we jump outside, we might even hear it. Of course not, because we get the roar of the helicopter. Beautiful. Cue the Starsky and Hutch theme. Gorgeous helicopter. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. A little bit different. We weren't saving lives and all that sort of thing, but I thought it was about time I got some stick time in the 500E and also took you somewhere a bit different than the Highlands of Scotland. So yeah, I hope it was good. Thank you ever so much for coming along, and while I remember, let me just lock off head tracking. There we go. I'm just going to quickly pop in the chat again. Just if you're interested, we do have Discord, and if the magical things work correctly, that link should appear in the chat. There it is, it's appeared now. So yeah, come along, see you there. But in the meantime, thanks ever so much for joining the flight. Great to have you along, and I shall see you again on the channel very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.